Hi everyone, my name's Sarah, and here today I am going to talk to you about a tool called Perplexity. So, what is Perplexity? Well, they claim that they are a free AI powered answer engine that provides accurate, trusted, and real time answers to any question. They invite you to think of Perplexity as a research partner. And they conclude by saying, skip the links, a single comprehensive answer that summarizes everything you need to know. Sounds wonderful, doesn't it? Well, let's get signed up for an account whilst we talk about where I use this instead of using Claude or ChatGPT. So I'm going to click the sign in link here, and you can choose to continue with Google if you already have a Google account, or Apple, because I happen to be on my Apple Mac. There's an option here for single sign on, and there's an option to put in your email. So I'm going to choose Google on this occasion. I already have my main account against my main personal email address, but I'm going to choose a secondary account I have here. And I'm going to ask it to sign me in. And then what happens is it asks me to continue here. So let's just click on that one there now. And we should now be back on the screen. Yes, we are. So we're logged in. Yes, we are. We've got the account name down below here, as you can see. So Perplexity, here it says where knowledge begins, and it says ask anything, and it gives you some examples below in case you're struggling to think of what to ask there. So the reason why I use Perplexity instead of ChatGPT is Perplexity is more like a search engine. So if I want to find some facts and have relevant places that I can cite to say where I got that information from, Perplexity is a much easier tool to use than to say have a conversation in ChatGPT, which typically doesn't tell you where it gets its information from. So if we ask a question here, what is the best conversational AI tool? A very open question. What it does is it goes away, and straight away you can see in this screen it's telling you some sources of information, and it comes back with an answer below. And the answer here says the best conversational AI tools are, and it names ChatGPT, Microsoft, Perplexity, Jasper, Claude, and then it summarizes there. Now what you might spot is when you hover over the little numbers, like in a research document, you can see where it's getting that information from. And that allows you to think, do I trust that source? And is that a bit of information that I'm happy to use in my report or to help me in whatever it is I'm trying to achieve? So you can see straight away, it does look different to how Claude or ChatGPT looks when you ask a question. So let's walk through the different options available to us in this user interface. So if we want to get back to a clean screen, we can click on the Perplexity logo in the top left. And that brings us back to the beginning here. We can also click New Thread here as well if we want to open up that chat window. There's a link on the left here to Discover. And that typically is listing out things that might be interesting that have maybe happened in the news or things that have happened recently. And you can click through and it will bring you to that page. So for example, if we click on the robotic ping pong player, this is a piece of news that's been curated, and there are ways that you can sort of carry on that conversation. We'll learn more about that. So it's a bit of a news discovery service there. And if you click on library, it will then bring you into a list of your threads. One of the things you can do, which is really helpful in Perplexity, once you have lots of different conversations, is to organize them. So it might be that you have a set of tasks that you need to do at work, and maybe a different set of tasks that you're doing in a home project. And you could organize them in that way by having separate collections. So if we click Get Started, you can give it a title. So let's say it's we're a member of a club. And it's to do with AI practice. And what you can do here, which is quite helpful, is to give it instructions that will affect every thread in the collection. So rather than having to say each time, give it some context or to say who you are and why this is an interesting question for you, you could actually put that prompt in there. So you could have a separate set of instructions for when you're asking a home question versus maybe your work question or any other segregation that you need to do, which is quite helpful. When you click create, you then have a separate list down the side here where your collections are, and it's an easy way for you to organize when you've got lots of different conversations and to find them again by filing them underneath the collection. And if we have a little look down here, we can see that we have a settings link, which then brings up a middle panel here. And you have the option to change your appearance, and you can make that one light or dark, which is very common with systems like this. You can set your preferred language. You can change your preferences on cookies. You can change your avatar. You can pick a new username. And in terms of privacy here, we have an option for AI data retention, and it asks us to allow Perplexity to use your searches to improve AI models. Turn this setting off if you wish to exclude your data from this process. So that's really sensible thing to do, especially if you're using this in a context where it might be sensitive information. But typically the way I use it is as a search engine. So there's never anything that I'm searching for that is sensitive. So I personally leave this on because I want the AI tool to get better. But if in doubt, turn it off so it's not using any of your information in any way. And you have the ability to subscribe to a pro account, which I haven't explored yet because I haven't yet decided that Perplexity is the must-have tool for me. It's really helpful, it's really useful, but the free version of it works absolutely fine in the ways that I need it to. If you've logged in lots of different places, you can sign out of all your sessions, which is a good security option. And you can also yourself delete that account and delete all the data that's stored as well. So that's helpful there underneath the account settings. Your profile settings. So again, at a top level, you can tell Perplexity who you are. And that's information then that it will actually use in terms of tailoring maybe the answers to the context that you've provided. When I'm using this, I'm looking just for research. So I don't really think that it's relevant to make it try to give me different information. I just want the best information. So I haven't used that in that way yet. In more technical side of things, if you're a programmer, you can use the API, which we're not going to go into today. And also, if you're part of an organization, you might be interested in an enterprise account where it's easier for teams to work together on projects. But they're the settings. So let's come back out of that and go back home again. There we go. And they're the key settings on the user interface. There are some interesting links along the bottom as well that's worth exploring when you get a moment. There's a playground where you can go in and test different models and ask questions. And I thought was really interesting is there's an encyclopedia section which takes you through to lots of different bits of information about different AI tools, which is really helpful. So you might want to have a look at that too. But that's us all signed up to Perplexity and understanding how to ask a question and where all the different bits of information are. So I hope you found that helpful, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you.